Hi, good evening. This is Kathy Utley of the Utley Post, and I'd like to talk to you about an interesting news angle that I find to be kind of fascinating and somewhat hopeful in all of this noise. I call this piece Jennifer's Revenge. So, today we begin in London, where the UK Parliament is facing growing pressure to respond to the ongoing release of Jeffrey Epstein related documents in the United States. The disclosures arriving in large batches under a new transparency law are prompting renewed scrutiny of how British institutions handled earlier in allegations and whether any new information could have legal implications for the former Duke of York, Prince Andrew. Members of Parliament, by the way, I watched this primarily the House of Commons, a parliament across the political spectrum, are calling for a formal briefing of the U.S. files that it contain and how the U.S., UK, should prepare for potential fallout. While the documents originate entirely from American investigations, lawmakers say the material raises what they describe as serious questions of public trust, particularly if any references involve UK nationals or public officials. So far, the British government has not announced an independent inquiry, but officials confirm that the Home Office and Foreign Office are reviewing the disclosures in real time, assessing whether any of the information intersects with UK jurisdiction or past legal proceedings. Prince Andrew has consistently denied wrongdoing and previously reached a civil settlement in the United States without admitting liability. Legal analysts in London emphasize that any UK prosecution will require new admissible evidence that falls squarely within British jurisdiction. A threshold, they say, has not been met based on what is publicly known. Still, several MPs are urging the government to prepare for the possibility that U.S. investigators could share additional documents with foreign authorities. The Crown Prosecution Service has declined to comment on whether it has received any referrals. Opposition leaders say Parliament must not appear passive as international attention intensifies. Some lawmakers are pushing for a select committee review of how the UK handles allegations involving high profile individuals, though no formal action has been taken. Downing Street maintains that any criminal matters would be handled independently by law enforcement and prosecutors, not by Parliament. A spokesperson reiterated today that any action would depend on evidence and due process, which apparently they still have in the UK. So for now, Parliament remains a holding pattern, watching the U.S. releases, weighing constitutional boundaries, and bracing for questions that could test both legal precedent and public accountability. As more documents emerge, pressure is expected to grow on British officials to respond with clarity and transparency. I call this Jennifer's Revenge. I watched, that is the end of the news brief, by the way, but I did watch, this is my personal commentary. So I did watch some of the Parliament, the UK Parliament, and it was the House of Commons really pressuring the House of Lords, and asking the question about the royal family and about the protection of Prince Andrew and whether or not, he could possibly face criminal charges in the United Kingdom, and therefore the possibility of some real jail time, some real justice. I just love the fact that this is just continuing to be a real headache for him, and I just feel her, Jennifer Giuffre's, excuse me. I just feel her presence in all of this, and so sorry that her life ended the way it did. So, but if she could be here to see this, sometimes I believe she is. Um, I think she would be really happy. I, on the other hand, along with many members of the House of Commons, would like to see him behind bars. Wouldn't you? That was kind of an evil laugh. But anyway, so this is just kind of a short post from Kathy Utley in the Utley Post. I am just kind of wanting to get a little bit of rest from all the stuff going on in Minneapolis, all the ICE stuff, and also here in Colorado too. So it would be good to see some justice come out of this. So I can only, by the way, I feel sorry for people who have to go through those files in detail, because there's a lot of it I just can't stomach. I can maybe listen or read some of it, and it's beyond the pale for me, and beyond what I feel that's kind of a privileged sort of place to be. But I don't know if I might want to share this. So I worked in child welfare here in the United States, in Illinois, for many, many years. And so it's not like, child abuse and neglect issues and sexual abuse and neglect are new to me. They're not. And that's unfortunate, to be quite honest. I just really feel like the level of this kind of abuse is at by these men who had such power, and and how it was all swept under the rug and made to be normalized almost. I just really think like they all should just be in jail, and I don't understand why they're not, because if they had just been any Joe off the street doing any of this stuff, they would have been in prison for a very, very long time. Just saying. So anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that. I just think you have to watch British Parliament. I just love the way, excuse me. We all have colds here. I just love the way that they argue this. It's very entertaining. You should YouTube it. But anyway, sorry, I'm going to quit recording because I have a cold and I'm going to start coughing and it's going to be gross. So anyway, subscribe to the Utley Post. I have really interesting connections, and I have a lot of kind of a different take and perspective on things that are happening, and kind of got the inside line on some things that maybe others don't. So stick around, learn some things that are new, get inspired, support one another, and become a part of our community, which is really an awesome community, to be quite honest. I'm really proud of it. So with that, I'll say God bless all of you. Keep me in your prayers. I will keep you in my prayers, and we will see you on the flip side.